There are a number of treatments on the market right now that are based on these neuropsychological theories of ADHD as an executive disorder, particularly that involves working memory. Torgil Klingberg is the developer of Cogmed. He's a Swedish scientist. Cogmed is working memory training. It's practicing digit span forward and backward and spatial memory forward and backward for about 45 minutes a day with your child. You do need to reward them because this gets boring to tears after the first day or two. So you have to have a token system and a reward program in place. Program costs several $1,000s. Now, I have visited Sweden and his lab. I've gone over their data. And it does look like this produces a temporary improvement in working memory, and that results in a temporary decrease in ADHD symptoms. But even Klingberg has shown that with 3 months of training or up to 6 months of training, the effect might last maybe 3 months. And then you have to start the retraining again. So he likens it, I think very aptly, to an athlete like a weightlifter trying to train muscle mass. This isn't anything willful. You're just trying to expand the capacity of the brain for working memory. And just like an athlete who exercises, I can build up my biceps. But if I stop exercising for a month, guess what's going to happen? My bicep is going to atrophy now because it's not being exercised as much. And the same is true with these neuropsychological training programs that we have seen so far. Now, Klingberg gets royalties from the company, and we would like to see his research replicated by someone who does not have a financial stake in the success of the company. So it is being tested at 5 universities in the US. I know of at least one here in Canada as well. When these studies are over, we're going to have an idea about whether his findings could be replicated. But even if they are replicated, let's not forget what he found. This is a temporary exercising program that has to be reinstituted several times a year to sustain the gains. Now, let me tell you something else. If it turns out that this works, why would you spend several $1,000s when you can buy a Nintendo DSS and the Brain Age software, which does both of these things as well as at least 6 other frontal lobe executive function tasks? It's just as much fun, if not more so. It's 1/10 the cost. So I would direct you to Nintendo before I would send you to Cogmed. And if you don't want to invest the couple $100 that DSS costs with the software, get Scientific American Mind. This is the popular science magazine, Scientific American. They also publish one called Scientific American Mind. The last issue of Mind was a review of all internet sites that have executive function training programs on them, where you can go. Some of them are free, most of them have a monthly fee that you can sign on for, and there's the software, there's the games, there's tracking your successes and failures. All the things that Nintendo and Cogmed are doing can be done through these websites without buying the equipment, usually for like $9 or $10 a month. Some are more, some are less. Some are more interesting, some are less interesting. But there's a review of all of these brain training websites in that magazine, and it's very good. By the way, Nintendo comes out looking really good because it's the only portable system you can take anywhere and practice anytime, even if you're waiting in a car for Little League to start, So look around. Cogmed isn't the only thing out there. But let's wait for the research to come out before we know whether this is really going to turn out to be a coping tool. And that's all it is. It is not a cure, not by any means. That was probably more information than you ever wanted to hear. Right. Okay.